In today's video, we'll be taking an unboxing, an overview, and we'll be having a PC build of the iONZ KZ-33 Mesh Vault. Now, this is an MATX PC case, and it doesn't come with any ARGB fans, but I did pick this up for about £50 on Amazon quite a while ago, but I just haven't used it, and I just thought today's a decent day to go and use it. So we're basically just going to do a quick unboxing of this case, have a quick little overview, and then we'll get into that PC build for you guys. So stay tuned, guys. Now, my setup is very limited here, and I really struggled to try and get this into the shot and what have you, but we should be okay. There's also not a lot of room to stand up and stuff. Again, I need to kind of shift around a few things and what have you. I'm still trying to get the studio kind of sorted. I've not been able to put on the PC either in the background because I've needed to use the ARGB controller for that, for this PC. So yeah, but anyway, doesn't matter about that. Okay, so here's the case, and it is actually quite a lot smaller than I thought it was. So I've really struggled to try and get this into shot and what have you. If it does look a little bit odd, I'm trying to just look to the side because that's where my camera is, but my laptop is. We'll just have to go with this angle. I think it's okay. You can see the case anyway, so it's fine. When we have the overhead, when we're doing the PC build, it'll be easier. But we'll go with this. First of all, I actually wanted to say to iONZ, like, really fair play. You've actually put like a really nice box here together with all the screws and stuff, and it's actually actually labelled as well. Probably not going to be able to see that. So yeah, it says PSU screws, motherboard screws, and hard drive screws. Copper pillar screws. I'm not sure what that is, but anyway, I don't think we need them. So yeah, really nice touch there with the screw box there. Just really quickly. Again, this is really going to be quite a quick overview. It can basically hold 8 PC fans. So you've got the 2 at the front. It's all 120mm here, guys, as well. So you've got the 2 at the front. You can get 3 on the top. I believe 2 on the bottom and 1 at the rear here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, it's 8. So it's 2 at the bottom. So yeah, so pretty decent there. There's 365mm across here, so you will be able to get a full 365mm card in if you really wanted to as well. But just be aware, if you're putting in fans at the front, you're only going to have probably about 240mm of clearance here. So yeah, just bear that in mind, guys. So yeah, if I didn't say before, I probably should have said at the start actually. This is a dual chamber case, so as you can see at the back here, you have, like a fish tank case basically. So you have the power supply which goes at the back, and then you can put all your cables there and what have you, and hide everything at the back. Also, your storage drives go at the back here as well, but I'll show you that in a bit. And then you have the glass front here for basically a showpiece PC. So it will look quite good. Like I said, there's no ARGB fans, so that is a bit of a compromise here, but I have actually brought some Thermaltake ARGB fans which are white, so that'll be quite good. And this is obviously, as it's a white case. I'll try and make a little bit more of a white build, but it's not going to be that much because this PC is actually going to be my brother's PC. So this is actually 3 parts that I've kind of had laying around that I'm just going to give to my brother once we actually make this PC up. So that'll be quite a nice gift, I think, for him, and he'll get free PC. So he'll certainly be happy with whatever we give him. So it doesn't have to look that aesthetic great. So yeah, quite good. Tempered glass as you expect, but not amazing quality, but it's there. It's enough for what you need anyway. Nice little instruction manual there as well, so that's great. Again, I'm sorry if it doesn't show up too well on the camera, but I'm really limited with space and what have you, so just have to do what we have to do. So if I didn't mention it before, I probably didn't actually. This is a micro ATX case, so you're only going to get micro ATX motherboards in here, or you could get ITX motherboards as well, but hey ho, that's all you're going to get. You're not going to get your ATX one. So yeah, that is what it is. All these actually all the rear covers are actually removable as well, which is actually a bit of a plus. I didn't think that was going to happen. And then mesh at the front. Well, it's kind of like mesh. There's not actually any mesh. It's just sort of like they've just punched out holes basically for your fans to breathe, but that's all it is. There's no actual like mesh covers or anything. So if you are someone who's very, very concerned about dust, this is certainly not the case for you, because there is no dust filters at all on here. So just be aware of that. Oh, actually, no, I lie. There is a dust filter actually at the bottom here for the PSU. Sorry about that. I did lie there. Well, no, that's actually not for the PSU. That's just actually for your intake fan. So I guess it's just if you're intaking air into the case, so you don't get too much of a build up of dust, obviously coming through into the case. But if you are putting fans at the front here, just be aware that there isn't actually any dust cover there, so you are going to have a bit of a problem there. But anyway, the buttons and what have you at the front here, so the front I/O is here, so click your power button, reset button, a combined headphone and microphone jack, which I'm not that happy about, but it's okay. Then we get 2 USB 3 ports with the 1 Type-C port as well, which might be a bit of a problem because the motherboard I've got only supports USB 2 ports at the front, so I don't think we're going to have any support for any front USBs for my brother, but hey ho, he'll just be able to use the rear one, so I'm not really too bothered about that. And obviously the USB-C, he doesn't have USB-C because this is a really old motherboard that I'm going to put in. I'm actually going to put in a 4th gen i5 in here, so yeah, it is a bit cheap and what have you, and not great, but he'll be happy. It's free, so he can't complain. So these thumb screws aren't captive, but hey ho, you know, budget case, you can't expect too much here. So as you can see here, that's your cabling for the front. So your front USB-C, your front USB 3 ports, all your front panel ports like your power switch and power LED and everything like that, and then your front audio's there as well. If you can see that there just in the corner, hopefully, that's where you're going to put your drives. So that's actually removable and just comes out, and I believe you can get 2 SSDs on there and then 2 hard drives also in there as well, so should be about 4 drives for support here, which is actually pretty decent, so that's not bad. And then your power supply is that cutout just there, if you can see that, and it will just slot in sideways, and then your fan wants to be pointing outwards, I believe. Yeah, the back panel is totally perforated, so your fan should be out this way, obviously, because if your fan's facing the other way, it's going to be facing towards the motherboard, so that's obviously not going to be good for airflow and what have you. You're going to choke your PSU, so no good there. Now, I don't know across this rail whether you can mount fans and stuff there. If someone knows that, I don't know. It looks like you could actually potentially mount fans there, or maybe even a radiator even as well, so I'm not sure about that. Yeah, it does look like you can mount fans there, but anyway, why you kind of need fans at the back of that, I don't know, but it is what it is. Now, one thing I'm not actually too happy about that I've just seen is that the standoffs are actually, not only are they pre-installed, which is actually okay, but the problem is they're static ones, so you can't actually move them. They're just actually integrated into the case, so you won't be able to move them and what have you. So this might be a bit of a problem when I'm putting in my motherboard actually, but we'll have a look at that when we do the build. I'm not actually happy about that. I didn't see that before, so yeah, that's a little bit disappointing. I mean, I can certainly mount the main 4, and probably that one at there, but I think this one's not going to go, so yeah, a bit of a problem there. Also, the cutout for routing your cables, your PSU cables and what have you is here, which if you have a full micro TX motherboard is actually going to be too small, because your motherboard's actually going to come up to here, so that's going to be no good, because then your cable routing is actually going to be lost. So yeah, there's certainly downsides to this. I mean, there is actually a nice, you know, pass through here for cables and stuff at the bottom, which is nice. Those 2 ones there at the bottom there. A little bit of cable management room for the top there as well, and there is actually a pass through for your ATX 8-pin ATX CPU EPS connector. So yeah, like I said, 2 fans at the front, 3 at the top, 1 at the rear, and then 2 at the bottom here. So potentially 8 fans, although it looks like you could actually even run some at the back as well, but again, why you want to do that, I don't know. But yeah, I think overall that's kind of the case. Yeah, I think really it's time to jump into that PC build, guys. Let's go. So here's the build. Basically, we're going to start off with installing our fans. These are Thermalright fans, basically. Hopefully you can see that in shot, guys. I'm trying my best here with the camera angles and stuff, but it is what it is, unfortunately. Yeah, there isn't really any room to run the cable fans very well. Okay, starting to think a bit so-so on this case. I'm a little bit on the fence now. It looked good potentially on the listing, but I'm starting to think it's not quite as good as I thought it was going to be. I think we're going to have to take off the front if we can. Now, is the front not going to come off? Probably not. I think it might be. How does this work? Yeah, so basically the first thing I've seen here, if you can see, guys, I mean, you can run screws into there, but you're going to have to put the fan that way and then actually put one of those very, very long screws through there to there. Now, I don't know whether I've got those long screws, so I'm going to have to take a look, but that's really annoying, if you can see that. Because you basically just can't get the front off. This is basically just held down, so yeah, I don't think there's any way of getting the front off, so that's about the only way. So thankfully I have actually found the screw, so we can actually do this now, but again, they haven't provided these bigger screws, so I'm a bit disappointed about that. That's a really bad thing in my opinion. So that's a bad point straight away. I've also only got two screws for each fan as well, so it's going to be a little bit hickly-pickety, but it is what it is. Like I said, I don't think my brother would care, but it's not a great start for the case. Where's the screw? So you can't even see where you're screwing in. There you go. So we do have the fans actually now installed, but that was far too much difficult than it should have been. Having to use these very long screws to actually fit them in rather than being able to take off the front really wasn't good, but anyway, let's move on. Another problem that we're going to have is these standoffs are static, so we can't move that, so we're going to have to miss out one standoff, which is annoying, but it is what it is. So yeah, as I said, this standoff here isn't going to go, but hey, it'll be alright. So we're using quite an old motherboard here, like I said, 4th gen i5, and with only 12 gigabytes of RAM, but my brother will be happy with this, so that's fine. Thankfully that standoff at the bottom, if you can see, does actually just miss our board, so we're okay, but I'm not happy about that because now the board at the bottom there is a little bit fragile, but it is what it is. So again, we can't really do much about the front panel and what have you, so that'll just have to go out the way for now. Yeah, so the SSDs, if you can see that hopefully, yeah, the SSDs just go like that on top, so it should be. I might even take out the drive cage possibly. Yeah, I think I'll do that now actually. So that's just one screwing out, so that's nice, that's fine. So it just screws on each side there, each 4 sides for the SSDs. That's just nice and simple. Slides back in quite comfortably, so that's fine. Let's just get those plugged in now. going to connect up all the fans now. Okay, so sorry I haven't really been able to commentate much on that, but a little bit annoyed, but anyway. Should be able to just get our GPU in and then we're done. And that's our completed build, guys. Here it is, guys, our completed PC, and what do you think? Not too bad, hey guys. So this is the iONZ KZ-33T Mesh Vault. And yeah, basically, I'm just going to talk about the case now. I'm sorry maybe during the build if I didn't speak enough and what have you. In the end, the build wasn't really that great, if I'm being honest, and there was quite a few issues with the case which I wasn't really too happy about, which I'll talk about now. But let's start with the positives. I think, if I'm being honest, there probably isn't that many positives, but it's not bad. I mean, you do get a dual chamber case for £50, which is pretty good. Now, obviously, there's no there's no pre-installed ARGB fans, so you will have to provide them yourself. So there is that as well. I mean, the case does look quite nice, actually. I think with the tempered glass, that's pretty. It does look pretty nice. I mean, I haven't put it here because of the camera, but that is what it is. I do think the front of it looks quite nice, quite presentable. Certainly, when you do have your ARGB fans installed, it does look quite good, actually. The ARGB coming through the case there, and the one on the rear as well. It does help. It does help to make it a bit better, and you do get plenty of space here as well. I mean, it is quite big on your desk. That's the only thing I would say. Maybe not in terms of height. The height is actually quite small, but certainly in terms of depth, there's quite a lot of depth there, and obviously the dual chamber does make that a bit of an issue. But on the other side, on the positive side, the cable management was actually pretty good, because these dual chamber cases, you basically just stuff all the excess cables behind the motherboard tray itself, and then everything's kind of hidden behind there anyway. So that was fine. As I said, if I had a bigger motherboard, this placement of the grommet through the cable management area, this wouldn't be very good at all. So I don't really like that. So yeah, let's basically just move on to the negatives now. So yeah, like I say, that cable grommet really is in the wrong place, but it is what it is. I don't like this big cutout area here either, because that kind of just looks a bit crap with the cables and stuff. But I mean, I have tried to tidy it up a little bit, but that is what it is there. You know, a little bit of a positive as well is that the graphics card, you know, you can get a very good length graphics card in here. I mean, this isn't a particularly long graphics card, but there's still plenty of room there, plenty of extra room if you do want to install a slightly bigger graphics card. But just be aware, if you are putting fans in, you are going to get up to about 240 millimeters at most, or about 13 inches. Yeah, as I said, another negative as well was the case. I was kind of clipping myself on now and again, and then I actually did get a slight little bruise, a slight little, you know, somewhere where I bled from it, which I haven't had for a long time in the case. So that's a little bit of a concern. I'd say some of the edges here of the case are actually quite sharp, so just be aware of that, guys. Installing the front fan, you can't take this front bit off. This front bit you can't take off, which is really annoying. So the only way to actually install the fans is use a very long screws, as I've done here, if you can see that hopefully. And I've had to screw in from this side to there, because you can't screw in from this side, from the outside in. So you have to screw from the inside to the edge of the case. So yeah, that was a bit annoying as well, because I only been able to find 4 screws. So obviously these fans are held in by 2 screws each, but there's enough there. You know, I can feel them; they're not going anywhere, so that's fine. I do think like kind of that sort of like metallic and white sort of look is actually quite nice. Obviously, we do have quite a black build here, so there is that. Looks wise, this isn't the best PC at all, but again, my brother's getting this for free, so he's certainly not going to complain. He's going to be happy with that, personally. I can't see much problem. He'll certainly be happy, and if he's not, then well, he's got a free PC, so you know you can't really complain from a free PC, can you? I mean, this is, like I say, this is just spare parts I've had left over, so yeah, that is what it is. Hopefully, I've been able to get this in camera and enough. I mean, I'll have a look on the editing and see what it's like, but yeah, I mean, if you want a bit of a different case, you know, this certainly is it. For me personally, I would say it's an avoid and a no. It depends what you want, obviously, guys. I mean, so yeah, some people will like this case. You can as well get up to 160 millimeter CPU coolers as well, CPU tower coolers. Just if I didn't mention that before, so some people will like that as well, because that's good compatibility for CPU coolers. Most CPU coolers are about 150 millimeters now, so that's not bad, or maybe 155. So 160 is fine there. I mean, it is actually a decent case. You know, like, it isn't a horrible case at all. You know, and iONZ have done okay. There's just a few things which they should have ironed out, which I wasn't happy with, basically. Iron out. Funny. But yeah, the sharp edges I wasn't too happy with. That should have been rectified, really, in manufacturing. That's not acceptable in in 2025. That's certainly not acceptable. Like I said, the fan mounting as well was horrible. Didn't like that. the fact that you can't take off these panels, or at least I don't see any way to take off these panels, the front one and the top one is a little bit annoying as well, but that is what it is as well. But yeah, if you're looking for a dual chamber case, it does actually work. You know, it is fine. Personally, I do find these fish tanks or these sort of like dual chamber type cases, I just find them too big on the desk personally, and a normal size case actually takes up less size on the desk, so that's really good. Yeah, so guys, just let me know what you think of this case. Would this be a case for your next build? I mean, I do think, if I'm being honest, I would try and avoid it actually. For £50, there are better fish tank cases out there, with obviously the ability to put fans on this side as well, because that's another problem in this case. There isn't fans which you can put in the inside area, which show out this way, which is kind of what the typical fish tank case is. Although you can get radiators at the back, that's what I actually found that rail was for. But I'll put that in the video hopefully on the edit. But yeah, I think for £50 there's better options out there if you want to go fish tank style, and you also will get the ARGB fans as well included nowadays for £50. So no, I'm gonna have to say, like I say, this is a no buy case. Unfortunately, I would avoid. There are some nice features, but no, overall I don't think it's good enough. But yeah, I think that's pretty much going to conclude our video, guys. So if you did like this, please smash a like, because this has been quite a long video to do, and you know, these videos are difficult to kind of get out within a day or so that I have to record them, so that would really help us out a lot. Please comment on what you think of this PC case, and what you know, does it take your fancy, or are you going to leave it like I would? But yeah, I mean, obviously my brother will get a free PC, so he's not going to care. He's not going to care one hoot at all, is he? So yeah, and then obviously subscribe to see our future videos. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.